Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Release every day's video. So it's Saturday. On Saturdays, I do Cellar Saturday where I drink something off the shelves behind me. This is from 2015, so this has definitely been cellared. It's Firestone Walker, and it's their limited release 19 anniversary ale. I will read the back, so if you're not interested, just fast forward. Since founding our brewery in 1996, we have specialized in the rare art of fermenting beer in oak barrels. In the fall of 2006, we released a limited edition oak-aged strong ale called 10 to commemorate our 10th anniversary, thus beginning an annual autumn rite. This year, we present 19, our 10th release from our anniversary series. 19 is crafted from separate lots produced over several months and years, then carefully blended into this truly unique and complex brew. Each of the contributing lots was aged in oak barrels, some previously used by American spirit producers, others used in our Firestone Union. Each barrel lent its own bit of soul to the flavor profile, including nuances of tobacco, chocolate, and molasses. I was wondering if they're going to have some tasting notes. It's fine. Local Paso Robles, I'm probably mispronouncing that. My apologies. Area winemakers. Oh, I forgot they invite local winemakers to help them with the blending process. My wife's vacuuming. I don't know how much this is picking that up. And our brewers collaborated to taste each individual lot and lend their expertise to the final blend. The resulting limited production brew offers immense depth and complexity with long, intense flavors that beg to be sipped and savored. 19 is a one-of-a-kind beer built to last and will reward careful aging for years to come. So it's been aged about three, oh my goodness, since it's 2023. It's been aged for about 8 years, I mean to say. This is back when they still had the big boxes. Now they have the smaller ones. I think that's on camera, but just in case it's not. I have this one, 17 and 16 looks like the last year they were doing them, the big bottles, or the big bottles and the big boxes. Okay. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'm hoping it gives the ABV and the blend. I'll try to just quickly say the important stuff. The components, we blended together 235 oak barrels containing 4 different beers to create something rich, complex, and 100% original. Okay, so here's what everyone wants. What beers were blended together? Does it have the ABV somewhere? Oh, 13.8% ABV. All right, so here's the 4 things that they blended together. A third of this beer is Parabola, which comes in at 13% ABV. Doesn't give a year for what parabolas they're using, so I assume it was probably 2014 or 15. Anyway. Another third is Sticky Monkey, which is aged in bourbon and brandy barrels. That's a quad, if you don't know that one. Parabola is an Imperial Oatmeal Stout aged in bourbon barrels. Bravo Imperial Brown Ale, which I've had. I don't think I have any more of them. Oh, maybe I don't think I do. Bravo is a brown ale aged in bourbon and brandy barrels, and then Velvet Merkin aged in bourbon barrels, and that's another barrel-aged oatmeal stout. That one's only 8.5% ABV. So the last two come in at 16.66%. So it's a third Parabola, a third Sticky Monkey, and then the Bravo and the Velvet Merkin are equal parts to make up the last third of the beer. Then they say who helped them with the blend. I'm not reading all that. All right, let's get into the beer review. Oh, it's upstairs. Whatever. I thought the one that I can slide over to reseal it is down here, but it's upstairs. I know exactly where it is. Whatever. Let's get into it. I just was thinking it'll be dark. I wasn't really anticipating much. It was in the glass, it looks black, but it's actually really dark brown into very light black. Pouring it was much more brown looking. About a quarter of a finger ahead. The head is mocha with a little extra milk put in, probably. Let's get into the aroma. You get a lot of barrel. It goes bourbon for me first, at least. A lot of dried fruit, raisin, things like that. Little molasses and that's kind of the gateway to a slight savory thing, but it is a pretty darn sweet dried fruit kind of smell. Cherry, but not in an infected way. Yeah, dates, caramel, whisper chocolate. I mean, it's already a blend of four different things. You know, like the quad kind of makes sense. I get a little bit of plum, for example. For how much stout is in this, I don't get as much chocolate as I thought it would, at least in the aroma. Barrel comes through, again, mostly bourbon. I'm not getting any brandy yet. But yeah, a lot of dried fruits. It smells fantastic. I should mention that as well. Let's get into the taste. Cheers. Hope you guys are doing well. This is tasty. Okay, this is a good one where it's aged, like the age on this has not made it go sideways or negatively impacted it. It's a very cohesive, melded experience. But this is also a really good one where it is very tasty and also very interesting. So it's cool, because something that's unique can be bad. It's like, yeah, that's why they don't make beers like that, Whereas this is unique and it delivers, which is really nice. And it's not just like delicious, but you've had this beer 1,000 times, So that makes me excited about this. Even with some on the palate, the aroma is basically how I'm remembering it, how I've already described it. I don't know if it's apple brandy. I get a slight apple. You know what, man? That sip, huge cigar tobacco. I did not get that in the aroma at all. Spot on, and still there, because the box mentioned that. Spot on. Cigar specifically, tobacco. For a beer that's not particularly smoky or anything, it's kind of a trip to get that thing so specifically without any real smoke, ashiness. The dried fruits for sure. Again, that just like a sprinkling of chocolate, not much. Little surprised by that with how stout is pretty well represented in this beer. So yeah, the dried fruits, raisins, dates, a little bit of that plum makes sense because of the Belgian quad. I love when quads kick out plum. It's like my favorite thing to find in a quad is when it has that plum wine thing. Caramel more in the aroma than the taste, but there is some in the taste. Oh, yeah, so that little bit of cherry I got in the aroma, I'm also not getting that in the taste. A little bit of vanilla makes sense with all the different barrel aging. The ABV, it's there lightly, but it works with like a beer like this. I want some of the alcohol to come through. It happens to be like a rainy kind of for being almost summer. It's raining outside pretty hard right now. The temperature is like 60. Even a little bit cooler, for sure this beer would hit the spot. This is a really nice beer. Speaking of cigar, like on a nice day, sipping this beer outside, smoking a cigar, or even a way colder day than it is today by the fire. Like it's one of those kind of beers for sure, which, there's more like that kind of would hit both of those, because those two things seem very different, right? Outside, hotter day, smoking a cigar, sipping on this, or pretty darn cold by the fire. But this fits both bills very nicely. And again, flavor-wise, it's there, it's fun, it's cool. It's not blowing my mind taste-wise, but it does taste, I'm going to say, very good. It's not phenomenal, fantastic, but it tastes very good. It's such a cohesive experience, yet here's the paradox of this beer. It is so cohesive, yet allows for so much uniqueness, and at times pops of flavor, but all melded together, which again, it's a paradox. It sounds like I'm like not knowing what I'm talking about because these things should not be happening at the same time. Kind of an enigma that way. Man, this is super fun and tasty. Yeah, what was the other two things they said? Oh, molasses, yeah, I got that. And then chocolate. It doesn't go chocolate for me. It's the slightest, as I've said a few times, there's just the slightest sprinkle of chocolate. It's not a dominant thing for me. The dried fruits, molasses, some of that brown bread thing. And again, like there's more caramel in the aroma than the taste for me. But like that's the kind of stuff. The barrel, some brandy coming through finally. Definitely the bourbon. Just barrel stuff like vanilla, a little bit of oak tannins. Definitely barrel aged for sure, like that. Like there's no question about that. Without it being like chewy oaky. But yeah, this is great. This is really good, right? You know, try to stick with certain things to mean certain things. Don't overinflate it. Have you guys had this one before? Have you had any of their other anniversary beers? What are your thoughts on them? Now I'm kind of like thinking in real time, but you know, being able to reflect also a little bit in real time. That's kind of what these anniversary beers have been. Is they're definitely going to be unique because it's a blend of different things, and it's not even like a blend of just different barrel aged stouts or whatever. It has different kinds of beer so much in them, right? They are going to have that uniqueness. So the real question probably is not, are these beer, man, it's like straight oak on my palate right now. It's nuts. But anyway, it's not like, are they unique, but is it a cohesive, good drinking beer? And I'm really glad this one is. But anyway, yeah, if you had any of these, this one in particular, or any of them, you're drinking a different blend of something, I don't know, anything, everything, comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So guys, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.